Hello everyone, my name is Abhiram and today I'll be going over the LeetCode problem called maximum subarray. So we're given an integer array of integers, so return the sum of the largest subarray. So for example, like let's say we have an array of integers. Let me just type some numbers. It's -2, 1, 3, 4, -1, 2, 1, -5, and finally 4. So in the largest subarray is right here, 4, 2, 1, 6, which will give the sum of 6. So here's what we could do as a brute force solution. We could find the array, or we could partition every single array into every single array. This array into like multiple subarrays, and we could find the sum of each of it, and we could try to find the largest possible sum of it. But the problem with that is that like it will take like too much time, and most of the time you don't need most of the sums. You only need one sum, and not only that, it's just asking you for the sum of the subarray. If they're asking you for like the largest possible subarray with the subarray with the greatest sum, then we could do the scenario where we track every single where every single number, every single subarray, and try to find return the subarray with the largest sum. But we don't have to do that. So that being said, we just have it. Now we will try to find the subarray of it. So now we know like the maximum sum is going to be like we have to set the maximum sum is we can't set it to 0 because 0 is still a value and we are dealing with integers right here. But luckily, but within programming, this we will set it to the smallest possible number. So which is in Python is float hyphen negative inf, and this is like the smallest possible number, smallest possible integer in Python. Okay, now we'll set this as the maximum sum, and what we'll do is we'll get the current sum is equals to 0. So what we are doing right now in this algorithm is that like we're trying to with each consecutive element in this array we'll take the sum of it, and then we'll check if this is like the biggest possible number. Then if it's like the bigger than the maximum sum, we'll just add it to the maximum sum. But here's the catch. Let's say what we are dealing with like negative numbers. So let's say there's like -1, and if we add like 4 plus -1, it will be like 3, but which is less than 4. But there might be a possibility that like the next consecutive numbers might be 2 and 1, which are positive numbers, and you can increase the value. So we still have to be aware of it. But what if there's an array of negative integers, and each number and the consecutive numbers are less than 0 as well? In that scenario, we don't want our possible current sum to be less than 0 with each consecutive addition, decrease with each consecutive addition. So to prevent that, we'll set like if the current sum is getting less than 0, we'll just keep it equal to 0. So that's pretty much the algorithm. Now let's try to do it. So here's the current sum is 0, and this is the largest possible number. So for n in nums, so we are n in nums. Okay, so we'll add the current sum to the current possible sum to 0, maximum sum, current sum plus plus or equals to the current number, which is -2. Now we will check if this new temporary current sum is greater than the maximum sum. So max sum is nothing but the maximum of the maximum sum and the current sum. Okay, now now we'll set the value is going to be -2 because like it's significantly bigger than negative 1. So now I mean negative infinity. So now we'll set the new maximum sum is -2. Now here's the thing, we have to check if the current sum is less than 0. So if like current sum, the reason why we're checking if it's like less than 0 is that like if it's like less than 0, if I add like a positive number or negative number, it will either way it will bring the sum of the maximum possible sum to less than 0. It won't increase it. So in that, if it's like less than 0, we're just setting it back to 0 again. That way, for the next consecutive numbers, this negative number won't interfere with the largest possible sum. So we'll check if it's like less than 0, and that's it. And now we can return this sum, return return max sum, and that's pretty much it. So this is the solution. So solution, and this has like a time complexity of O of n, because we're doing only one for loop, and that's pretty much it. And it has a space complexity of O of 1, because like we're not creating any array or like anything specific. So this is pretty much it. Thank you very much.